All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chick from Guna Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is Eagle Eye, the transfer rumor show where I talk to you about rumors and news surrounding the Arsenal. Big ups to everyone that is watching or will be watching or will start to flood into watch. Do me a favor as you come in, stick a like on the video. It helps the people notice the show, particularly when I do late night shows like this. And it's just a nice thing to do to support the show. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. I come to you most days. In fact, usually I come to you every single weekday. I didn't yesterday. Reason being, it was quite a slow news day. And to be honest with you, I'm looking at various different options to improve the show. So you're going to start to see some changes over the next coming weeks. I'm not necessarily going to announce those changes, but you'll see them as they come to fruition. Because as the show gets bigger and the more subscribers I'm having, the more I'm thinking about ways to improve the experience for you guys. So I've started to think about different ways I can do that. I was working on something yesterday, just got a bit late, and from there I couldn't be, just wasn't appropriate to do a show that late. So apologies for not doing the show yesterday. It does mean that I'll end up doing one on Saturday though, because I usually give myself Saturday off, but I'll be doing a show on Saturday instead. In fact, I think I'll be doing one anyway because I'm pretty sure the damn game's on. So that was a redundant piece of news. But anyway, please do stick a like on this video, hit the subscribe button, do hit that like as well, especially because it allows people to notice the show. All right, first things first, let's talk about some stories. Let's talk about the most recent story that broke this evening, and that is Mr. Matteo Guendouzi. Matteo Guendouzi is obviously a central midfielder who is still on Arsenal's books. And funny enough, one of the things that came about yesterday was the fact that Matteo Guendouzi did I think he made an Instagram post where he basically said, right, that's now done, back to work at Arsenal. So he clearly is quite focused to saying, all right, whatever happened last season happened. Brand new season, brand new fresh start. I think that's kind of evident in the fact that, you know, he's been training with the first team, which he hasn't been. Been training on his own and been training with youngsters for the most part. Him and Mesut Ozil have almost kind of been welcomed back into the community in that respect, even though Mesut Ozil doesn't feel confident that he's going to be in the squad for Fulham. But at least those two are being included. And clearly Arteta's kind of like, well, if you're here, then you've got to train and you've got to do what you think. Well, in Matteo Guendouzi's case, this is still an asset of ours that we're looking to sell. So much so that PSG have entered the foray. I think I reported this a couple of weeks ago that they were pretty interested. Well, they've decided to make some inquiries now, specifically about Matteo Guendouzi. However, the offer that's being potentially discussed is for Arsenal to accept a swap of Matteo Guendouzi and Julian Draxler. Remember him? Yeah. Julian Draxler is the deal that is actually being discussed for Matteo Guendouzi. And what I find hilariously ironic about this particular situation is that I think I read a story earlier today that Julian Draxler was being considered by Fulham. And I thought to myself, well, how did he go from Fulham to Arsenal again? This is one of them players where throughout the years we've always been linked with Draxler. You know, this is just a player that we can't seem to shake when it comes to being linked with people. And generally, he's always split the fan base. Some people think that he's got a hidden talent very deep down there. And then there are other people who just think to themselves, like myself, oh no, I see a younger version of Ozil. And I don't mean that in a good way. So I just feel like, for me, I'd actually rather keep Guendouzi than let Julian Draxler come to this club. But what do you guys think? I just think For me, we need to get cash. You know, if we're going to get people who are actually useful to us, like a Partey or like an Aouar, and I think the Aouar thing is still ridiculous, but like an Aouar, these are the sort of people that we're going to have to sell. I don't know. For me, I hope that the deal can be worked out. I don't think we'll get as much as 40 million for him, but maybe if we got something in the region of about 30 million pounds for Guendouzi, given the situation we're in, honestly, I'd take it. Take it and keep it moving. But again, what do you guys think? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Speaking of assets that we can sell, and speaking of teams that are making their move, Barcelona have entered the race for Hector Bellerin. Now, funny enough, I was thinking about this on Monday when I was talking about Bellerin. I was talking about Bellerin, obviously, because there are a number of teams that are interested in his signature. Bayer Leverkusen is one of those teams. Obviously, they've just sold Kai Havertz. They've got a bit of free cash, and they're interested in strengthening their right-back position. PSG were the ones that we assumed would definitely come in for him because they've just lost Meunier to Borussia Dortmund. So I think many people expected PSG to move towards that move. But then in my mind, I kind of was like, you know what, with Barcelona trying to almost restart their team and make it quite a young team, it wouldn't surprise me if they went back in for Hector Bellerin. And, you know, funny enough, me and Lee were having this discussion very briefly at the show. And it was like Barcelona would pay for Hector Bellerin. This is the same Barcelona team now. What was it? 2-3 years ago, didn't they buy that old Spurs player, that central midfielder, a couple of years ago? Didn't they also buy Van Malen? You know, Barcelona have a pretty sketchy record at best with certain players. So I think they could absolutely buy either Guendouzi or Hector Bellerin, a team which, ironically, they are being linked with the exact same teams. Bayer Leverkusen for Hector Bellerin. Both teams are like PSG, and both teams interest Barcelona, if you believe the stories. But what do you guys think? Again, let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Let's talk about Martinez. I know that this was a story that I couldn't get away with. Then I heard a podcast which I like talk about it, and I thought, what's up? Now you're making me want to argue. So, obviously, Villa, and I reported this a couple of days ago, that Villa would be looking to increase their bid for Emi Martinez. They're looking towards that £20 million mark. Arsenal want him. That's Arsenal's asking price, and Villa are prepared to pay him. And you can see why he's performed very well. He's put in 10 years of graft, grabbed his opportunity with both hands. And I see lots and lots of people saying, they take the money, they take the money, they take the money. In my mind, I'm thinking to myself, bruh, actually, you know what? Let me come back to that. Then supposedly Emi Martinez has rejected an offer of a new contract from Arsenal. The reason being is that he feels that Villa are offering him more, right? Bear in mind, he's not accepted a contract. They're offering him more than Arsenal are. So if you're Emi Martinez, you're thinking, rah, I put in 10 years graft, and that's all I get in terms of pay rise. I can understand. So he's probably sat down there thinking, okay, well, Villa do have a bit of form when it comes to paying their players. Am I sure they can pay us? You know, these are things he's going to have to take into consideration. From my point of view, I think it is ridiculous. I've said this before, and I say this again. All your players should fight for their place. Every single last one of them. You know, this particular podcast I was watching was talking about the fact that, oh, well, you know, he's done a good job under difficult circumstances, but that essentially Leonard should just mosey on back in. And I just thought to myself, if you truly think that, what sort of mentality are you teaching those players? That it doesn't matter what you do every time you step up, that ultimately when you do step up, regardless of the reason behind it, that when you do step up and when you do grab your chances, then effectively you will be punished and you will be held back. Don't like that mentality at all. That was where I had to leave that conversation because I thought to myself, I don't want to keep going back and forth on my man's stream. But I just thought to myself, just it's the mentality of saying to someone, cool, it's very unfortunate that Leno had an injury the way he had. For me, it was a freak injury, an absolute freak injury, and that's all you can call it. But to say, oh, well, you know, Leno should just mosey on back in there because he's been so good for us this season. And in my mind, I'm sat there thinking, has he been that great? Like he's done nothing wrong. I think he's made some superb saves over the course of the season. Guess who else has? Emi Martinez. You know, one of the points that was brought up on that show was the fact that Emi Martinez has had a more difficult situation. Sorry, has had a more easier situation, arguably, than anyone else cooking at that playing at that level. Because obviously, if you're coming in, making your debut, or having a consistent run of games, then it's easier to play without the pressure of a crowd getting on your back, especially when you know you are losing a game. Whereas, you know, Martinez hasn't really had that, and I can kind of see the thought process. But in my personal opinion, I think people are looking at this with rose-colored tinted glasses, because just because he's saved quite a few shots, people forget the mistakes he's made. And then some people say, oh, well, you know, he's made those mistakes at the beginning of Arteta's regime. So I don't care when he made those mistakes. He made those mistakes against Villa, something I hold him highly, I blame with Leno. I highly blame him with Leno. And there were a couple of times early in the season to say, oh, well, I'm going to drop Martinez because Leno is available. Martinez hasn't done anything wrong, mind you, but I'm going to drop him because, you know, rules are rules. It's just, to me, it's a backwards way of looking at things. It's a backwards way of looking at something. And supposedly, on top of all of this, we are still being linked with David Rana, who is the Brentford who's the Brentford goalkeeper, someone I don't particularly like or rate, purely on the basis that I saw him on a Playoff Cup semi-final, and I weren't impressed. I didn't see what the big deal was. I weren't impressed. But we'll see what happens. We'll just hope and pray, and let's see how we go. But it feels like a shame that we're about to lose Emi Martinez, and people's justification is, oh, well, Leno made a couple more flying saves than he did. You know, I think people, if we do end up selling Emi Martinez, I think people are going to look like a real silly bastard when that happens, because I just think, in my personal view, there's one that should be playing and there's one that shouldn't be. And guess who I think that should be? So it is what it is. What do you guys think? Again, let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Right. For those people asking me about Houssem Aouar, there's no further updates. Arsenal made one offer, as we know. And it's just a case, there's a belief that Arsenal will go back in for him to make a second bid. As of right now, that's not happened. Where Arsenal have made U-turns on is obviously Rob Holding. Rob Holding was set to join Newcastle over the weekend. Now, if you remember, I think it was on Friday, I said to you that something is supposed to happen on Saturday with regards to Rob Holding. And that obviously, if he does leave in the meantime, then, if he does leave, then we'll have to make sure that we have to make sure we report it. But I just said that something seems like it's happening here, and keep watching. And lo and behold, it looks like Arteta has changed his mind on Rob Holding. We later on found out today that David Luiz has a bit of a neck injury. Don't know how he had this neck injury, but just had a bit of a neck injury. No jokes here. But so much so, it looks like David Luiz could be out for up to 6 weeks. So that obviously presents an opportunity for an experienced defender like a Rob Holding, like a Callum Chambers, to step in and do their thing. But yeah, I guess, what do you guys think about that? No, I think people had started slowly tapping out on Rob Holding. I was one of those people, I must confess. But what do you guys think about that? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Yeah? Is there anyone else I need to talk about? Thomas Partey, there's no real development on this other than that he wants to come to the Emirates, but he's not prepared to sell his soul to come to the Emirates. And fair play. You know, he has integrity. He feels like Atletico Madrid have done a lot to support him over the last 8 years. But he realizes that this is a big opportunity for Partey. So I think it will probably get agreed today. Yeah, I think that deal will eventually. I hope it does. Never know with Arsenal. I hope it does. But again, let's see what happens. What do you guys think will happen? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Now, is there anything else I'm missing before I bounce up out of here? Anything else? Oh, just lots of hickey B stuff. Hold on, let me get that crap off the screen. What else? I know that we were offered the PSG goalkeeper, who's now ended up at Fulham, interestingly enough. So I don't know if that was Arsenal's way of saying, yeah, we ain't going to sell Martinez this summer transfer window. I'd keep Martinez, I would. It'd be interesting to see who starts against Fulham. Obviously, with all this speculation over his position, it wouldn't surprise me in some ways if Leno was the opted choice or was the preferred choice to start. So again, I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, I think from my point of view, I just feel like it would be a huge mistake letting Martinez go. But what do I know, eh? I am just a football fan. I suppose I will talk about this as my last story to talk about. Oh, interesting. Let me read that story. So it says Arsenal surely have to use. Oh, okay. Sorry, yeah. Just people giving advice. Never mind. So I'll talk about this as the last thing, as a bit of good news, hopefully. And that is Mr. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I knew it. There is an Aouar date. I'll talk about this first because I want to end it on a good note. So Houssem Aouar, apparently the battle to sign Houssem Aouar has escalated as Man City are set to move on the Arsenal target. Do I know my situation or do I know my situations? This is why if you see me, I weren't excited about Aouar. I weren't. Because until I see him say, I want to join Arsenal, I'm not excited about that situation. And I had not yet seen that. I'd seen a rumor that he was favouring Juventus, and then I saw him gushing at the fact that Pep knew who his name was, basically. I didn't hear none of that for Arsenal. So I just said, in my mind, I'm still sat here thinking to myself, they just lost David Silva, right? They could do with a player like that. In a couple of years' time, it's going to mature and be a pivotal player for Man City. And in my mind, I'm sat here just thinking, shit. Imagine a team that has Kevin De Bruyne, Houssem Aouar, Bernardo Silva, and Sterling in the same team. And I've not even mentioned Riyad Mahrez yet. That attacking midfield lineup is serious. Like I say, this is where Arsenal now need to move quickly. If you're serious about this Aouar thing, move now. That would be my hope. If you are deadly serious about this Aouar thing, move now. Otherwise, we're going to lose out on this kid. That's what I predicted anyway. But again, what do you guys think? Let me know. I feel like we're going to lose it. I really do. I really do. All right, let me see what you lot are saying. I'm going to just chat to you guys for like 8 minutes or so. See what you lot are saying. Big up, Mr. Gomez. Dropping a donation like it's something. Partey looks like a very good player, Chris. Trust me, excellent player. Hold on 1 second. I knew it. My throat had been good all day. As soon as I start talking to you guys, I start coughing. But yes, Partey's an excellent player. An excellent player. It really is. Oh, gosh. I give Holding a little more credit. But that's because I hate Lingard. I can't stand Lingard. I hated Lingard before the moonwalk. Big up to Mr. Egypt's Prince. Thank you, brother, for your donation. Since we got Xhaka, we haven't got top 4. Can you tell that to people that defend Xhaka, please? Tell that to them. I feel like they need to know this. Because I'm already aware of it. Now, my question to you guys is, for all of you guys, and I see it in every single time I do a stream, every single comments, let me ask you guys a question, right? Let's say, and I've been warning you guys for the last couple of weeks, do not put all your hope in Houssem Aouar coming to this club. Because I felt like, first of all, it'd be difficult for the club to raise that sort of money. And B, I didn't know how they'd be able to manage to do that with a guy who's never really declared if he wants to join the club. The closest we've come to that is that he says that he could see himself in the Premier League. But that's it. Yeah, I do. I have a horrible cough. God forbid it's COVID. I don't have any other symptoms. I can still taste. I can still smell. Temperature's cool. Don't put that on me, people. But I do have a horrible, horrible cough. So apologies. I like your late night stream, Shake. I figured you guys do. So I'm kind of sticking with it for a little while. See if you guys continue to like it. And plus, I know that a lot of people, like the American guys, the Australian guys, this time suits them better. So that's why I'm trying to capture you all as much as possible. Chiggy Chig, do you rate Saeed Kolasinac? No, I most certainly do not. And I'm hoping, that's why I'm kind of hoping that this Portuguese youngster that we were linked with a couple of days ago is an actual thing. Because if we can get him for relatively cheap, maybe we can let Kolasinac go. My man's on £140,000 a week. Worth mentioning that. I'll be honest, Aouar isn't worth 60 million. Said it all along. I prefer Partey. But Archer, they're different type of players. They're different type of players. Partey is, to be honest, it's wrong to see Partey as a defensive midfielder. He's a box-to-box guy who happens to be very, very good in the role of defensive midfielder. But actually, what he likes is, he's a typical African player in some ways, where he likes to express himself, very confident on the ball, lots and lots of power, can collect the ball from deep, is an excellent tackler. Not the quickest, but then you don't really see central midfielders that are blisteringly quick. Jack Grealish, for example, is super slow. Central midfielders don't need to be quick. They just need to have everything else. He's got a good pass on him. But Aouar, for me, if that kid doesn't go on and become a number 10, for me, he does his most effective work moving forward. So he's the guy that, I hate using this expression because it's kind of an American expression, but he quarterbacks the team. So he's someone that you give the ball to and say, right, weave your magic. And he quarterbacks the team. He's more like, so if Partey is the one that powers the car, then Aouar is the engine. It's a key component of the engine as well. So yeah, they're different sorts of players. That's why in an ideal world, you pair them up. You pair them up alongside Ceballos, tell Granit Xhaka to sit the hell down, and then you're good to go. I want Partey more. Listen, for me, don't get it twisted. Anyone who's been watching me for a long period of time knows I've been banging on about both players for some time. I did a Chib Knows Best video series about central midfielders. If you've not had a chance to go watch it, go watch it. And I list all sorts of central midfielders. The person I end up picking at the end of it is Houssem Aouar. Just because I think he's so good, he's so complete, and yet I think his ceiling is so high. I think you're only scraping the surface right now to see what he's capable of. However, from a defensive point of view, we have needed someone like Partey for so long, who is just imposing in the middle of the park, who can gather the ball, run with the ball, look somewhat threatening. And even if your grand plan is to not buy Aouar and say to yourself, all right, I'm going to trust Granit Xhaka. All right. But let's just say that that's your grand plan. I actually think Partey could be a nice foil for Granit Xhaka. He could be. Listen, I am not Granit Xhaka's biggest fan. Believe me. But I would be hating. I'd be hating and blind if I said that he hasn't made any improvement since Arteta's come in. I'd be hating. Yes, I agree with what Lee says to a certain extent. He's only gone back to the level that I expected from him in the freaking first place. But at the same time, an improvement is an improvement. I didn't think he was capable of improving, if you want me to be honest. So this time's okay. 2 a.m. is a bit hard for me, that shit. I hear you, Dan. I hear you. It'll be around 10:30 moving forward. It'll be around 10:30 moving forward. So yeah, I think from my perspective, I answered this before, but I'll answer it again. If I could only have one of them, it would be Partey. That's why, for me, I've always been more excited. If you notice, whenever I talk about both players, you'll notice this straight away. I am much more excited by the prospect of Thomas Partey coming than the excitement of Aouar, because I just don't see Aouar coming to be an Arsenal player. I don't see it. I'll be very impressed if they secured someone like Aouar, because if they did, what a coup that would be. You know, what a coup that would be. But when you look around at all these players that are securing amazing talent, you know, you've got Chelsea securing Werner and what's his name? Got Werner and Havertz, not to mention Ziyech, who was already there. Again, another player I desperately wanted. You know, you've got even Everton got Alan. I'm not going to talk about Rodriguez because I don't rate James Rodriguez like that. But they even got James Rodriguez. They got Decore. Flip me. What's the matter going to get Decore? No Arsenal fan is complaining if you take £20 million and going to put it on Decore. The guy's, again, 27 years old. He has Premier League experience. He's someone that most people like. Arsenal is just like, if you're still focused on nickel and diamond Partey, then go and get Decore, for flip's sake. At least that would have made some sort of sense. So you do worry as time elapses. You do worry. Of course I worry. You know, we're heading into a weekend where, yes, I expect us to annihilate Fulham. And, you know, come Friday, I'll tell you what my actual thought process on that Fulham game is. But that's only because we've got a good record against Fulham. It's not because we've got a good team. That's for damn sure. We've got a good record against Fulham. So that's why I expect us to pump Fulham. I'll be very disappointed if we don't. But at the same time, you know, our midfield has always been our worst core. And I think ultimately that's why, if you ask me the question over and over again, Partey on Aouar. Partey on Aouar. Our defensive midfield has always been our worst core. It's our worst part of the team. And I think by sticking a Partey in there, you immediately improve that team. Whereas Aouar, I think, needs to find a place in that team. Don't get it twisted. He gets into the team, but he would need to find a role into that team. I suspect it would take him longer to get going in that team than it would Partey. I think Partey comes in, slots in, and immediately improves it. Aouar would need to find a place, get used to the pace of the Premier League. Quite frankly, he'd need to take a couple of tackles, see how he feels, almost in the way that Ceballos developed. He would need a Ceballos-like season. Because these creative players, is one thing coming from Liga and Ligue 1. Come to the Premier League and try that creative shit and see how successful it is for you. Until you take that hit, you don't know. So he will need that. He will absolutely need that. So that's why I think for me, Partey would always be the more sensible decision. But it is what it is. You know, we've clearly put our chips with Partey. Great. Drag this deal over the line now. And then my question to you guys, which I've tried to ask you guys about 10 minutes ago, was if we don't get Aouar, who would be your choice after that? Would you bother getting anyone? Chig, would you get both Partey and Sommer? It would be a dream, but I don't think it will happen. Ben, I think they see both as quite similar players. Because both are quite box-to-boxy. Both have the ability to play defensive. I think Samari, apologies. Samari. I think Samari is a better passer of the ball. Don't get it twisted. Partey is still a very good passer of the ball. But I think Samari is a much better, he's much more clever with his feet. He's very intricate. Really, it's a crime that he plays defensive midfield. He's so much better than that. Not that Partey isn't, but Samari, he is destined for big things, man. Oh, he's destined for big things. Him, Sangara, oh, that's another one I'd have. Sangara is just an out-and-out DM. No-nonsense DM. Big 6'4", would cost us 10, 15 million. Just Arsenal, what are you doing? Come and get him. I would love Szoboszlai. You know this. You guys know this. Szoboszlai has already come out and said that he's going to stay at what's the name of that damn Austrian team he's with? He's going to stay there for Red Bull Salzburg. He's going to stay there for one more year. Can I ask you guys something? I'm going to put it out there and see what you guys think. What about Jack Grealish? Just going to put that out there. Now, I only put that out there for the reason that A, he'll be fit. B, there ain't going to be no quarantine nonsense. C, I think he will be expensive. But maybe if you put pressure on Villa and say, listen, but all that 70, 80 million nonsense, why don't we take 45 million, 50 and take Jack Grealish? Would you have him? That I am curious about, to see what you lot would say. Archie says Grealish all day. My man says nope, no chance. Grealish is overpriced. Yes, it's all about getting him on the right price, though. Grealish has got that English tax. I agree. All day, all night, Grealish. Grealish for 80 million. We ain't paying that. Omar, even if we're paying half of that, you will say that we ain't getting them. So I like you saying this stuff. I like you saying this type of stuff. It means that you're going that way. We're probably going to do it. Sankofa. I like that name. Sankofa. Sounds strong. Mind reader chick was just thinking about that 5 minutes ago. So let me just drink some cough fluid because I'm sick of this cough. Grealish is overpriced. Dominic is who I'd get. Iffy, I don't disagree with you. Who doesn't walk into our midfield chair? I just think to myself, do you know why I think Grealish, right? If you think about it, he ticks a lot of boxes. You can play as a number 8, you can play as a number 10. He's already got Premier League experience, so all good there. He's 25 years old, great age. He's someone that's clearly improving, would relish the opportunity to be a big cog in a big team. There's something very Gerrardish I like about him. He kind of reminds me, the only thing I could think of, right, this is going to be a big claim. Bear with me, because I want to say something controversial. When people talk about comparing Arsenal's model to the Liverpool model, you think to yourself, all right, well, who could Arsenal get that can replicate that? And guys, don't tell me Granit Xhaka. Let's just be real, all right? I think to myself, could Grealish be our version of Jordan Henderson? Let that simmer for a second. They paid a lot of money for Henderson when they bought him on board. And not all Liverpool fans are happy. I remember that because my cousin was one of them. He was vexed that they bought Jordan Henderson. Couple of years later, who is now one of the first teams on that sheet. And I'm just thinking to myself, there's all this kind of claims that we're trying to replicate the Liverpool model. Then go and get a Liverpool type of player. Go and get a Jack Grealish. Let me put it another way, right? Let me put it another way. If Willian is our James Milner, then Grealish could be our Jordan Henderson. Let that simmer. Before you dismiss it, let that simmer. See what you think. I'm going to just catch this donation from Mr. Gomez. Party kind of reminds me of a late Dr. Socrates of Brazil. Okay, I see you. He reminds me of Essien. Simple as that. Essien, I always wanted him as a player. Always wanted him. Grealish is 100%. 100%. Grealish is more a Winnie type of player. Yeah, I'm talking about though. I'm talking about in terms of pieces of the puzzle, not in terms of styles of player. Because I think, for example, Milner's more industrious than Willian is, but Willian's more productive, obviously, going forward. So, but I'm just talking about, the types of people they represent in the team. Todd Cantwell, yeah, I'd potentially take him. I would potentially take him. Somir would be Jordan Henderson. I don't think so. I think Somir is more high profile. Is more of a get than Henderson was. Henderson was a very kind of like. I remember when they got Henderson from Sunderland, man. I remember if you spoke to Liverpool fans, they were like, "What? What? But why? Why would we do this?" Whereas Grealish, I think, would be our version of that. Because I think not every Arsenal fan would be happy until he actually proved himself. I think that would be a get. I think that would be an interesting move. SEM was my dream partner for CES. Me too. Sorry, me too. Samari is a younger version of Pogba. I think it's better than Pogba. I think all right, let me not say that. I think you will be better than Pogba. I really do. I rate that kid highly. Highly. But there's no way they go for Samari and they go for Partey. No chance. Hello, Rune. I hope you're well, my guy. That's another one that disappeared from my member stream on Sunday. I want Camavinga. No chance of that. Overplan, no chance. I'll take McNear. Oh dear. Pepe, Uber, and Draxler up front. Iffy, my guy, you must be winding me up with this Draxler nonsense. He's nowhere near Pogba. I expect him to end mid-table. Who? Samari. You, Archie, this would not be the first time you are wrong. I remember you. Samari is a typical Arsene Wenger type of signing. Is that a bad thing or a good thing? Grealish reminds you of a two-footed Brady. McGuinn could be our Henderson. I like that guy too. I do like that guy, but I think McGuinn would be seen to be more overpriced than Grealish would be, because I don't see Villa letting go McGuinn for less than 30. I know what other people have also said in the chat. Buendia for Norwich. I probably butchered that name. Is someone else I really like. Someone else that puts chances on the plate for people. I'll take Mark Noble. Oh, we're taking the piss now. We should sign Couette from Lyon. Who is that? Is that 20-year-old that they just let go on loan? Chig, would you take Declan Rice? If it meant getting rid of Xhaka, yes. But Ben, I must admit, I'm not really a Declan Rice fan. You notice I never mention him when I talk about DMs. That's when I think that the English media overblow for obvious reasons. Willian, Abba, Pepe, Saka as a number 10, Ceballos, Xhaka, Tierney, Gabriel, Saliba, and Eddie Maitland-Niles would be my 11 against Fulham. Okay. Who knows? 11 against Fulham, it could be 11 full stop. Oh, dear. I like Rice, to be honest. Rice is overhyped. I think he's decent, but when people start talking about Rice being 80 million, I'm like, oh, shut up. For what? Even half that, I'm sweating. I'm nearly there to get 100 likes. And yes, please, man. I am hovering over 9K. Hovering. If I could get 9K before the season starts, considering 10K is my aim by the end of the year, I'll be well happy with that. And I'm so close to both. I'm so close to both. Rice is like Chilwell. They're okay players, but not top class. Yeah. Why are we looking at players when we've got the great Mohamed El Nene? Oh dear. What's Saka's future position? I see him as a number 10. Anything he likes. That boy, this is another one I like. Almost in anything Maitland-Niles mode. Tell him what to do, he'll do it. He will have a preference, but he'll do it. You know, I don't think him playing on the right would work. Now it works. He doesn't mind. He just gets on with it. He does it. He just does this thing. And I think what I said the other day is the thing that I think nobody's really noticed. I said this yesterday, or I said this 2 days ago, I'll say this again. For all of the people that say, oh, Laka and Abba, he is the one that works best with Aubameyang. He is integral to what Aubameyang does. Just watch him and watch Aubameyang. And then when he doesn't play, watch Aubameyang. It's like night and day. No one seems to notice this. He is the key to unlocking Aubameyang. The absolute key. Because he understands the way he moves. Aubameyang understands where he needs to be when he gets on the ball. It is fantastic to watch. Sometimes if I'm on a watch along with Lee, and you see me at some point in the game just go quiet. So I'm just watching those two move. That's all I'm doing is watching those two move and work. It's wonderful to watch. Chig, would you play Pepe through the middle? Yeah, see, I would. I'd see. I do get. I get why. I'd actually play Pepe up front. Why not? Play him up front as a false nine. Play Willian on the right, and then play Saka as a number 10. Why not? The only thing I would say for Pepe is that he'll need to bulk up a little bit because he'll get clotted a lot. But the one thing I will say is towards the end of last season, I think you started to see him bulk up a bit because my man was riding challenges towards the end of the season. And I think he will get fouled a lot. But if he played that kind of Firmino type of role, why not? Why not? Jafreezy, can a mod put the membership link in for me, please? I'm on mobile. I will do that for you now. I'll do that for you now. But yeah, I can see Pepe anywhere he likes. I think they're all interchangeable, which is great. So the movement, I think, will be nuts. You could do so much. You could do anything, really. You could do anything. Anything you wanted. I'm going to put that membership link in the chat. Bear with me, guys. 2 seconds. Anyone that wants to join the membership, do feel free to hit join. You're more than welcome to do so. If for whatever reason, like Jafreezy, you can't join the membership because, I don't know, YouTube is a bit weird sometimes, just let me know and I will get the link for you, just like I'm about to get for my man. Bear with. Bear with. Here we go. Got the membership link. Let's dump it into the chat room now. There you go, Jafreezy. That's the link for my membership, guys, in case my join is not working. So I'm going to dump it in there a couple of times. Saka shouldn't be starting games. Bring him from the bench, it makes sense. Iffy, I have literally no idea where you get that from. Why? Why would you not start one of our best assist makers in the team from last season? That logic makes no sense to me. I thought Niles was a right back. Niles is a whatever. Big up Jafreezy for being the latest member of the Chigame. In fact, sorry, I didn't do my drum roll. Hold on. Welcome. It's such a crap drum roll. See, this is one of those things I'm looking into at the moment. I want a drop where I can have a drum roll. So it makes it a big deal when you kindly decide to spend your hard-earned money on me. So I want to make it a big deal. So thank you for joining. Thank you for joining the membership. I appreciate that, my guy. Thank you. As always, you'll get all my pre-recorded stuff first. You'll get all my Chig Knows Best video series first. You'll get Cooking with Chigs exclusively. You'll get my gym membership vlogs when I eventually start them. And lots of stuff. Oh, and streaming online with me. Let's have shows with me. I never got a drum roll. Oh, gosh. For anybody that's not got a drum roll, hold on. Welcome. There you go. Thank you, my guy. I honestly, genuinely, all jokes aside, for anyone that is a member, that re-ups as a member, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We ain't stopping. We're going to keep going. Hold on, Jaden. 1 sec. Let me assist you, my guy. Dear kid. Anyway, What an idiot. Who's trying to emulate anything? What an idiot. Dear. Any other stories I could talk about? No, there isn't. No, there isn't. Saliba got a show on Saturday while he's clear of every defender we have in our team. Oh, confidence. Confidence. In the final, Chelsea Pepe was playing all over the place, and he was near our number 10 role. He actually put in some nice through balls. Could see him bangers from there. Yep. But Bunner Jaden. And that's no disrespect to AFTV. Listen, if you are AFTV stand, power to you. But don't go insulting other channels. You need to do more combat shows, my friend. Brother, combat shows this Friday, my guy. We got a lot to talk about. Chig, take a look at Fiorentino's Lewis from Benfica. He's 21-year-old midfielder that can play as a DM or box to box. His level is above Xhaka. Shimba, I have no idea what you talk about because, like I just said, there's nothing wrong with you being a fan of FTV. All right. One more question and I'm out of it, guys. 163 people watching. Slap a like on this video. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Did my man come under a new name? See, are you mad? Are you mad? Chris Guna. You know what? Just because you got a bad man first name, let me check that. Chiggy, can't you see? Your head is way too low. Do you know why my head is way too low? Right? I stuck this t-shirt. I'll be honest. I stuck this t-shirt on, right? Thinking, oh, it's clean, it's clean, it's clean. Noticed a huge stain on it. I was like, like, how the heck did I miss that? That's the honest truth. Look, probably see it now. Look, now that I've see, look. How did I notice that? So yeah. Look at this guy. This guy is so committed to telling me that my channel is dry. He'll come on another login just to tell me that. First of all, my guy, bless you. Please do stick a like on the video just before I kick your ass out. All right? Go on, I'm going to give you a couple of seconds. All right, sweetheart? All right. Take care, Snookums. What a dickhead. What a dickhead. Look, you'll come under a third one. They're committed, these people. These people that love to tell you how dry you are committed. You'll come under another one. You watch. Cooking with wifey before we get back to work. How did you know? How did you know? Man has a lot of time in his hands. You know what I mean? Come on, one more question. I'm out of here, guys. One more question. Because then I've done an hour for you guys. It makes up for yesterday. So I don't feel so bad. Don't try it. Don't try it. A stay like that would normally be lower, John. Don't try it. I got no problem telling you I got freaky in the wife. And that's what that stay is about. No problem at all. Am I doing a show for the Lomachenko fight? We'll be talking about a Lomachenko fight, but I don't know if we'll be doing a watch along or anything like that for it. Do you think a banner will be flown past on Saturday? Like fuck, Chris. Like fuck. The weekend GU is settled, haven't they? Because they all like Arteta. So because they all like Arteta, there's no need. Chig, what am I doing at 10K? Oh, good question. Good question. It's going to have to be something special, though, isn't it? But good question. Buenda or Cantwell? For me, Buenda. I know a lot of you love Cantwell, and I can see why. He's a good player. But yeah, when's the next member stream? Sunday. Sunday, Jafreezy. I'm going to do it about, excuse me, I'm going to do it about 8 o'clock on Sunday. We'll talk about the game. We'll talk about what we need to do moving forward over the next couple of weeks of the transfer window. So yeah, we got stuff to talk about. Steak or fish? So John, unfortunately, because I realize it's not a good thing, I hate fish. I get it from my mum. The rest of my family love it. So I guess if those are the other two, I'd be a steak guy. Chig, have you seen the rumors of? Wait, let me say it carefully because I know what you lot are like. No, I've not. I love fish though. So Iffy, one thing, I love tuna. Makes sense of that. I love tuna, but I hate every other fish. 4 likes away from 100. You lot sort that out for me. 4 likes away from 100. Come on, guys. Sort that out for me. Sort that out for me. I miss traditional fish and chips, to be honest. Yeah, I suppose you'll like it. It's one thing the English are very good at. It's our fish and chips. Do you think that Arteta will have a preferred system with this team? No, because I don't think he's had his preferred players. I think if he gets Partey through the door, Ceballos was supposedly his call. Reversing on Ainsley was supposedly his call. And obviously Rob Holding was supposedly his call. So he will have a lot of his players, but I think, people like obviously Aouar, he would have loved. Let's see what happens with the striking situation. But supposedly Lacazette has a £40 million price on his head. So we'll see. Be interested to see what happens with Lacazette because, in my view, if Lacazette goes, we must get Edouard. We must. My people then. But when you watch it on the playback, guys, keep sailing past that 100. Keep going. Fish and chips is boom. Mushy peas 2. Chig. Also have no winning mentality at the level. Tatu and Edu seem to be the only ones who want to win, but it's not ruthless. How can we change that as fans? So yeah, very simple. The demands that we have as fans. Me and Lee have spoken about this countless of times. I know Lee has a very different way of approaching it to the way I approach it, but I agree with the sentiment. And that is, we as fans must demand better. I'm sick of hearing people saying they're aiming for fourth. No, we should be aiming to win it. And as I keep saying, if as a byproduct of that, we then finish 4th, great. Fantastic. Because at least then you can see the progression. But 4th shouldn't be an aim. That shouldn't be an aim. Winning it should always be the aim. Because if you drum that in as fans, the players pick that up and say, right, they need to win. Whether Arteta is a winner, wants to win or not, listen, I've seen lots and lots of things about Arteta. For me, I don't hate the man. My 100% beef with him was the experience thing. But, fair play to him. He's been here for 6 months. He's won a trophy. Let's be real. Let's not talk about the damn Community Shield. He's won a trophy. Fantastic, great start. Let's see how we progress. What I don't want us to do is rely on the fact that we won a trophy as evidence that Arteta's a winner. No. A winner is someone who constantly wins something, who constantly strives to win something. And we as fans must demand that from this team. And then if we do, they will get that mentality. Because we as Arsenal fans have that mentality. I think Leicester might get Edouard. Me too, Jigga, man. It feels like a Leicester type of signing, don't it? I agree with you. I think that would be a good signing for them. You know, given the fact that Vardy is aging, Ian Nacho is a decent second striker backup, but you know, you need someone more prolific than that. So I agree with you. I think Edouard could be that guy for them. Little surprised they didn't explore the signing of Jonathan David, actually. Who's a better manager, Arteta or Di Matteo? I don't know about all that, but I got to say one thing. One of those people have won the Champions League, and it's not Mikel Arteta. Just saying. We have to fight. I totally agree, but our fans are in love with Xhaka, Bellerin, Mustafi. Listen, I think you say. I think the one thing is, I think you make a good point. I think it does also. We also need to let go of sentiment. The idea that most people are arguing that Bellerin should stay because he's been with Arsenal for a long time. You see, this is what frustrates me because there's this particular podcast. I like this podcast, and not beef. I like this podcast. But they make some weird comments sometimes, and it makes me think to myself, huh? Because on the one hand, you're saying to me that Bellerin needs to stay because he's been with the team for so long. He's one of the senior members of that team, yada, yada, yada. When today, that same podcast then said, well, we should sell Martinez because Martinez has been with the team for so long, and this is the only time that we've really seen him display any sort of consistent form. And there's question marks over that because these are unique circumstances, as if he could help the circumstances that he came in. And that, to me, just makes me think to myself, well, how can the two be the same? At least in one of those cases, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinion, in the first case with Hector Bellerin, he's been with the team a lot of the time and we've not seen improvement. We've not seen a consistent level of improvement for a consistent enough period of time. You telling me that he nutmegged Mane is not evidence that he played that well in that game. Because he didn't. Because for the highlights reel that people like to spew, in that same highlight, he lost the ball after. So you can't be telling me that this is someone that's making improvements. Whereas you're then saying that the guy who's been here just as long as Hector Bellerin needs to go if we get a high enough offer. Remember, they're in the same situation. Teams are interested in them, but he needs to go because, well, this is the first time that we've really seen any sort of level of consistency. Doesn't make any sense. That to me doesn't make any sense. And like I say, it's not beef. Anyone who figures out who it is I'm talking about, it's not beef with them. But I listened to both arguments of that. They made the argument about Hector Bellerin last week, and then they made the point about Martinez this week, today. And I just thought to myself, well, how can the two be the same thing then? These are two players who are not that far apart in age. One of them has had a chance, has really had that chance. One of them hasn't. One of them hasn't made levels of improvement that you would expect them to make at this stage of their career. One of them was given a chance and grabbed it with both hands. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Why people need to be consistent with their arguments here. But anyway, I think that is pretty much that, right? Because I know I'm just rabbiting on and on and on. And I suppose, I don't know about you guys, I definitely got work first thing in the morning. Let's put it this way. I'm not dreading big teams like I used to, but it still worries me. They still do worry me. It still worries me because ultimately you could dress it up how you like. You could talk about the fact that we won the FA Cup, we won the Community Shield against big teams. This is a team who finished 8th. I mean, let's not lose focus of that. They finished 8th. So is Gabriel and Willian enough to improve the team that finished 8th? I have my doubts. But let's see. You guys have a lot of faith in Arteta. And he's won us a cup, so maybe I should give him more credit. Not that I don't give him credit, but I'm just not quite in the position of, oh, well, Arteta is the all-saving, all-seeing, which was another thing that people tried to justify to me as the reason that Martinez played well, because of Arteta. Could it not just be because of the player? Anyway. Sorry, the Martinez point from that podcast clearly pissed me off. I wasn't happy. But anyway, you're not meant to agree with everyone. Anyway, I'm going to bounce up out of here. Please do stick a like on this video. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Feel free to join the membership, just like Jafreezy. And also, I forgot someone else joined a couple of days ago, and I want to give them a shout out because I don't want them thinking that, oh, you didn't give me a little drum roll. And that is Danny64888. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you enjoy your stay, and yeah, give me any feedback you can. I see that Jamal re-upped, and so did Sergio, kind of downgraded, but he re-upped. But so thank you, I appreciate that, my guys. That is pretty much that, guys. So thank you so much. I'll be back again tomorrow. Hopefully, I have some sort of news. Supposedly, Aubameyang is about to agree his contract. I heard that 2 weeks ago, so let's see. But apparently, it's all verbally agreed. You just need to sign it now. So let's see what happens. But other than that, I am out of here. Take care. Enjoy your Monday evening, stroke Tuesday if you're in the following day. And I'll be back later. Peace.